Hey everyone, welcome back to another Inner Sleuths live stream. We are picking up on another episode of PaxCast. I believe this is PaxCast episode 11, and we have some interesting stuff to show you today. I'm sure a lot of you have probably already seen these meshes, but we're going to be talking about them and giving our opinion on some of them. There have been some little sneak peek previews over on their Discord. So if you guys have seen those, bear with us here. We're going to be showing them to everybody who has not been keeping up on the PAX Day Discord. But there are some interesting little bits of information in here, and I think they're almost like they're definitely teasers, but they're almost like leaks built into some of these images. So for those of you who don't know, the PAX Day team mainframe have put out a post talking about the upcoming plot cleaning up. They said that this next wave of plot cleanups are going to be much wider and more vast. So for everybody who's trying to join the Order of the Blood Brothers, but our server is full, just bear with us while they work through that. Once they get this plot cleanup sorted out, you guys will be able to. I mean, you can join up right now, but just keep in mind that you will not be able to actually make new characters or do plots on our server or in Tremin on US East Danu RP because it is completely full currently. That being said, don't let that stop you from signing up and joining. You're always welcome to join our community, the Cheeky Buggers United Discord community. You can type !Discord in chat, and you will get a link over to our Discord where you can join our community. There are so many great people on there, very helpful people. And I always tell people it's not just about PAX Day, it's about community first and foremost. It's not just about WoW, it's not just about PAX Day, it's about just having an awesome community of people who are very helpful and willing to play and do whatever with each other and just have a good community to hang out with. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you head over to the Cheeky Bugger United community Discord and you join up. That being said, if you would like to join us in game, after this next round of plot cleanings take place, you'll be able to actually get on our server and you'll be able to play with the Order of the Blood Brothers. We're always taking in new recruits. We show new people the ropes, just have fun in game. We like to do a little bit of role play. We have some interesting things that have been happening around town. We haven't seen the ghost in a while, but hopefully we get to see them again soon. I don't know if it was an event or something that was run on the server on a script. I don't know if it was alluding to something more, if it was just a player RPing. We're not too sure, but it was pretty cool. If you want to hear some stories or read some stories about what was happening, I have some shorts made. I think I have a short made, and we have some stories over on Blood, Bones, and Ancient Tomes over on our website. So make sure you head over and check out our website and check out the Blood, Bones, and Ancient Tomes section, BBAT, which is under the PAX Day category. We have a bunch of people in chat already. We got Errol Gone and Coco Puff and Steven. I hope you guys have been doing great. I was gone for a couple of days. I had a memorial for my stepmother that I had to attend to. I was out of town. So I was gone for a short while there. Hopefully you guys didn't miss me too much and the place didn't burn down while I was gone. No, it looks like everything should be pretty good. We have some applications over on the website that I'm going to be hopefully getting to at some point today. So if you guys would like to get vetted to get into the clan, and make sure you get in touch with myself or an admin so we can get you vetted and get you in. If you are marked pending or incomplete, you must either fix whatever's incomplete or you must, if it says pending, you must reach out to an admin. Aragon says, man, I missed you guys. We missed you too, Aragon. Did you see that funny short I put out of you and Rugrat? Nick, how's it going? Great to see you. Hope you have been well. Yeah, I just got back in town last night. So I'm going to be picking up our regularly scheduled content. Hawk, hope you're doing well. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Aragon says I did. I loved it. I don't know if Rugrat loved it, but I thought it was funny nevertheless. All in good fun, right? But yeah, so back onto what we have here. I have Tangia paused currently. I'm going to unpause Tangia here soon. Tangia is a fun way where you can interact with our stream. You can do funny overlays and all kinds of things like that. If you type !Tangia, you can get a link over to our Tangia where you can send all types of funny stuff. I'm going to go ahead and unpause that now. Anything that's queued up, it will go ahead and play through. But whenever you see Tangia paused in the bottom left, that just means that the Tangias are being held until I unpause them. Then they go in order. And there's like a 5-second delay in between each of them. So that way they don't all flood through and overlap all at once. Side note also, a community update, there has been changes to the World of Warcraft The War Within pre-patch event, which is going to be running until the expansion releases, which we're all looking forward to. I know this is not PAX Day related, but I like to do some community update stuff here at the beginning, especially to get caught up with everything since I've been gone for several days. That being said, let's get right into this information that we have. So, the upcoming plot cleaning is going to encompass more plots than the first one did. They said they're trying to cast a wider net to remove only the truly abandoned plots. So this should be a more extensive wipe of maybe not just refunded accounts. Maybe it's going to be inactive plots of plots that have been not utilized or you haven't logged in, I don't know, maybe say a month or something, or since the beginning. I'm not too sure. But that being said, if you don't want your plots to be wiped, I would just make sure that you're active and you're logging in from time to time. Even if you're waiting for big content, like we're going to be talking about here, make sure that you at least log in to make sure that your plot is secure. That being said, after these wipes happen, there are some trolls in PAX Day. There are some trolls on our server, so make sure that you check your neighbors' plots and see if they got removed, because with the way the plots work currently, if you attach your plot to another plot, it increases the size of that plot. You may think you have more property than you do. You build into that property, and it can also be manipulated in certain ways to reduce the size of your neighbor's plots, which then allows you to grief that plot. So make sure that once this does happen, we're all getting on, checking our plots, if we have extra plots, placing them down as placeholders for clan members, all kinds of stuff like that. So that way we don't have any issues with losing control of our plots or anything. If you notice that neighbor's plot becomes unclaimed for some reason, maybe secure it for them so that way we can make sure that their stuff is protected for them so that they don't have any issues going forward. But it is going to be a wider net that is going to encompass a larger array, a larger amount of inactive plots. And they said it's coming that it's going to be upcoming in the coming days. So that was posted on the 26th. We are now on the 5th. So I'm not too sure when that's going to be taking place. We're on August 5th now. So hopefully we get that wipe soon so that way we can get some more people in. I know there's a lot of people who've been really trying to get into the clan, but they just cannot make characters on our server, so they haven't been able to. So it's kind of unfortunate. I'm not a fan of that method of locking people out of the servers. I understand it's a necessary evil currently, but that being said, hopefully we can get that resolved in the future so we can get a bunch of new friends on our community. And you don't need to be on our server to join our community. Again, we have the capacity of hosting private servers for all kinds of stuff. So you can join our community regardless. And then once we get that wipe, you'll be able to join us in game as well. We have Raz in chat saying mainframe is coming, or edging is more like it. Hawk says spent 7 hours in game today. Oh, nice, man. Yeah, I haven't been able to jump in currently because I've been out of town for that memorial, but I am back now. We're starting up with PaxCast, and then tomorrow I may put out another short later today. We got some more funny shorts that we got made up. My editor, Tom, has been working hard on getting a bunch of content made from shorts made and other videos made from our long form content, our 10-hour streams and stuff like that. So tomorrow we'll be picking up with some more streaming, some live streaming of gameplay. Let's get on to what we know is in the sneak peek. So in the sneak peek on the 2nd, they said our world team has been hard at work preparing for the next big content update. It's interesting they say the next big content update when it's technically the first. They haven't really done a content update yet, if I'm being honest. And we do know that the first content update is going to include the economy. That's what they've said before. Now, I don't know if that's set in stone, but they have said that our first big content update will include the economy and those marketplace, um, the marketplace system where you can actually have an asynchronous transaction. You'll be able to put things up for sale. People will be able to come at a different time and purchase from those market stalls. So we know that those are coming in the first big content patch. They say here they're preparing for the next big content patch. So it could just be the way that they worded it, but I think that we can hopefully see this content patch pretty soon. I don't think they would have put out this post if it wasn't at least relatively soon. But at the end of the day, we really don't know when it's going to come. It's going to come when it's going to come. I'll do another PaxCast. We'll make sure that we announce when this is actually going to release when we know more information. Raz says, "Give me all the gold." I'm a gold hoarding goblin. You have to have a bunch of gold by now. So for those of you who don't know, Raz has been doing mercenary work and helping out other clans to be able to do certain things that smaller clans would not be able to otherwise do. We will eventually have a full-fledged mercenary guild within the Order of the Blood Brothers. We will also eventually have a traders guild within the Order of the Blood Brothers. Money, 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 Mr. Krabs. And it's going to be a lot of fun, but we need an economy system in order to really truly engage in those types of activities. So if that sounds like fun to you, make sure you check out the Order of the Blood Brothers, or if you're an allied clan or a nearby clan, make sure you get in touch with us as well. We're going to be opening up shop soon once this content patch drops. The World team has been hard at work updating and improving various crafting ingredients. They'd like ingredients to be as visually pleasing as possible, and to support that, they've created high-fidelity meshes and materials, and that's a lot of the stuff that we're going to be showing you here today. I'm sure a lot of you have skimmed over these, but we're going to be giving our 2 cents on each of these images. Some of them are more interesting than the rest, and some I know more about than the rest, such as the potions. There's a little bit of a leak within the potions, I believe. So I'm looking forward to going over that with you guys. A lot of crafting ingredients come in different quality grades represented by material changes. This is really great to this is going to be really great to see in game, the different progress of these materials as you refine them and work on them. Because right now we kind of have placeholders for a lot of things, especially like the potions. All of my potions look exactly the same. If you guys have been watching my previous streams, you'll know that all of my potions look exactly the same besides one potion, and that's the highest tier Kool-Aid that I can make, the 3.2 healing potion. It's in like a glass bottle, and it looks pretty good, honestly, and it's fancy compared to the rest. They're all just in a generic black tonic bottle. There's a leak in the blacksmithing weapon materials as well, also boots. When we come to those, Raz, make sure you point them out. Anybody, if you notice anything in these meshes that we're about to show, make sure you point it out. So I'll pull up the first one here just so we can have it on screen so you guys can start to look at it a little bit. Let me move this down a sec. Hold on. Let's get this down here. So if you notice anything in these images, any leaks, please let me know, because I just got back in town and I have not had a chance to really look over these too much yet. But if you notice anything, please let us know. So it's going to be interesting to see the progression of these materials and have the actual meshes and icons and things change to be these higher quality ones. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to add some more fidelity, some more realism into the world. Hopefully this comes with, like I said, the first big content patch, which will also hopefully have the marketplace. Besides crafting ingredients, they also created meshes. So this sounds like these are already done, because it says they also created meshes for minerals and potions. So minerals, currently, these stones, they just have like generic looking icons and low fidelity meshes. So they're going to be switching over to these much more higher quality meshes. And I think that this is in an attempt to facilitate the trading, the marketplaces and stuff, because if you plop something down on the table, you need to know exactly what it is that's identified. I don't know if these meshes are going to be shown on the tables that will be up for sale, or if it will just be an inventory menu. We don't really know quite yet, but with these new meshes, I would not be surprised if we see them used in the marketplace. It could be a matter of you actually have these on display and then they are purchasable and collectible by the third party. I think that'd be a really interesting way of doing it. But that is Theorycraft. We like to do a lot of Theorycraft here on the channel because it's fun to it can be a lot of fun to actually dive into what the what ifs of these new leaks and stuff that we're getting. The new art assets will also be used to create nicer and more realistic icons. So not just in-world assets, they're also talking about the actual icons in our inventories, which will help to identify materials apart from each other. Like currently, all my potion icons besides one look exactly the same. They all are just a generic black tonic bottle. If you guys have watched my previous streams, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've used these potions in game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It'll be really nice to actually have identifiable potions based on their quality, their tier, and whatever other factors there may be. And they also say at the end here that we want to hear from you. The combat team wants to know which weapons are your favorite. And on their Discord, make sure you're on the official PAX Day Discord. They have a poll, and they have a link to it in this post, weapon poll. So I've already voted. They would like to know which weapons are your favorite. So head over there. Hopefully we get the new weapons soon as well, which was on the roadmap. Let me pull up the roadmap so you guys can see. Right here's the roadmap of, we don't have dates on these. We don't know when they're coming. But here is the roadmap so you guys can stay up to date in case you've missed the previous episodes of PaxCast. Each PaxCast has unique information in them as content comes out, so they are worth watching even though they are old content. But here you can see on the homestead we have a bunch of stuff: adventure, civilization, and miscellaneous. One of the things under, so we know we already have clan tabards. That's under civilization. Market stall and a gold economy probably coming relatively soon. Under adventure, we have improved combat feel, new enemies, and new spells. Really looking forward to seeing that. New gear. We know we're going to be getting new weapons and armor and things like that. Improved NPC behavior. Really looking forward to that. So there's a bunch of stuff on this roadmap that hopefully we get to see pretty soon. Nick says that'll be nice. I'm still waiting for a better bow targeting system. Yeah, the bows are, I have not really used the bows too much, but the bows just seem like they're only for hunting animals currently, and I would love to see that expanded. Maybe once we get the crossbows, there used to be a skill in game for crossbows. They've since removed it because they said it was too early for it, so that could have been like a hint. I mean, it definitely was a hint. We're getting crossbows at some point, right? We just don't know when because it was already added in as a skill. Hopefully, maybe the crossbows would be more for PvP or player combat, and maybe the bows remain for hunting. I would love to see the bows get a special. I would love to see the crossbows have a completely unique system to use them over the bow and arrow. Was that an alpha? Was what an alpha? Raz. But yeah, I would love to see crossbows come in and all kinds of new weapons. I love variety as long as it can be balanced. If variety can be balanced, the sky's the limit, right? Because we're going to have all different types of way to play the game and have fun checking out new stuff. It gives you variety, right? Because I don't like when everyone uses the same weapon just because it's the best. If they can balance them all and bring us variety at the same time, it's going to be a lot of fun to see all kinds of new stuff run around. Was that in the alpha? Oh, the crossbow skill? You know, I'm not too sure. If we check back on my alpha streams, maybe someone wants to check back on an alpha stream, that would be good information to know if the crossbow was in alpha. But I know I pull up my skill menu in alpha, so if you see it on there, we would know. I'm not positive if it was or it wasn't, but I would like to find that out. But so there's the roadmap of all of our upcoming content. I'm sure there's going to be more than this. I know there's going to be more than this. I mean, the devs have talked about all kinds of new stuff. Lee Bob says it was there. Oh, okay, Lee. So yeah, there we go. It was in alpha, Raz, but they decided to remove it recently. So hopefully with that combat update, we'll be able to get that in. So I would assume that would be like the second or third update, maybe. We know the first one's going to be economy, and it's going to probably have these meshes and textures in with them. Arrows with afflictions would be nice. Fire, poison, stun, blinding arrows would be crucial. That'd be really, really cool. I don't know how far they're going to take it because they're going with this more low fantasy. But then again, we do have some blessings and magic, but those kind of feel okay. I like them. They feel good in the world. They feel more rustic and not just like flashy, fancy magic. The fireball is a little more flashy and fancy, but I like the way that they've tied them in. Affliction arrows would be really cool. I don't know about blinding arrows. I don't know how they would do that. Maybe on when it hits you, it puffs smoke in your eyes and you go blind for a minute or something. It has some type of effect like that. They're going to have to really tie them in a realistic way. Edging the Paxians. Got it. Exactly. All right, let me pull down the roadmap. Let's put this back up. This is the animal fats, wool, bones, and sinew texture that we've seen that is over on their Discord. This is one of the textures and meshes. Now they haven't shown us any icons. I would really like to see what the icons look like. These are all in-world assets and textures. Arrows that set a cloud or fog in a small area would be nice. Just saying. That would be really cool. Like a poison cloud you could pop up for area of effect. I don't think we really have area of effect. Uh, there's the enemies do some area of effect. The ground slam from the heralds. So if we had some area of effect stuff, that would be pretty cool. I like how the bones look. I'm assuming this is sinew. This is wool. We got some fats in the back. I think those look really nice. The clay pottery on them looks really good. Eventually, hopefully, we get like pottery as its own separate profession. I think it's baked into one other right now where you can actually make them. But it would be nice to actually need glass bottles and pottery. And like, what are these wrapped up with? These are wrapped up with some type of twine. That should have to come from tailoring, in my opinion. It's cool that the textures have them because they look nice, but I would like to have a realistic effect to that as well, where you need to actually wrap these up and bundle them. Maybe they had some type of bundle system. Further down below, the carpentry one, which we'll get to, I think that would be really cool to have. Oh yeah, enemy chili rings as well. You're right, Raz, for area of effects. That's definitely correct there. It'd be cool if we get some stuff like that. We do have area of effect heals, I guess, because you can do like an AoE heal. But I mean, lingering in the world effects that we get to do, I think that'd be kind of interesting. And if the AI worked with it as well, if you put down some fire ring or something and they try to avoid it or they try to get out of it, you could have some really interesting AI interactions there as well. But nothing too crazy here. I don't think any leaks in this one. Again, if you guys see any leaks in these, call them out. Let me know as soon as possible. So that way we can go back to stuff too if we missed anything. But right here we have bones, sinew, wool, and some fats. Nothing too crazy, but they look really nice. Here we have blacksmithing. So this one, there's a lot of information going on here. We have buckles in the bottom right. We have, starting in the bottom right, we have buckles. Looks like studs, wire, spear tips. Yeah, Raz, let me know what you found in here. We have nails. It looks like we have, let's see here. Some pickaxes. I'm just moving this down a little bit so it doesn't overlap chat. We have pickaxe heads, axe blades, sword blades, long swords, arrowheads, some cloths in the backgrounds, or maybe those are just because if you notice those things in the top left, those are kind of like cloth or paper that if you look in the bottom right, that these studs are on. So maybe those are just placeholders where we can put stuff on them ourselves. We have arrowheads and then you have hinges. So right there, Raz says dagger blades next to the sword blades. I had thought about those being dagger blades. I didn't know if they were for sure or not. I want to say they are because they have a tang on them, a tange, or however you want to pronounce it, where that would go through a handle, which means that a handle is going to be right below that knife part, that blade part. Whereas you can see the spears, the wood goes into it, and then you can see a spot for a rivet on them or a nail to go through to secure the long shaft to the spear tip. It's kind of weird the way that the pickaxes and axe heads are. The axe heads make sense. What is directly above the dagger blades? What are those? Because the pickaxe heads are to the top right of the dagger blades. But yeah, I think those definitely could be dagger blades. I would love to see a system. Oh, crossbars. Okay. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Those are crossbars. Those would go up on the tang, and then the handle would be affixed to it. What's in the top right above the pickaxe heads? Lee Bob says there are already knife blades. Are there knife blades already? I've not done too much blacksmithing. You can make knife blades currently, but they're just not used for anything, Lee. Or hilts, Raz says. Yeah, crossbars or hilts for sure. Staff or cane with a tune, not a single in-game weapon or tool. Does your tune hold it to the ground like that? Fancy ass ranger boots on the tune's feet. Are those not just like cloth or leatherworking boots that are cosmetic? Those are unique, you're saying? Oh yeah, yeah, and you're right, Raz, and he's holding something to the ground. So that could be a staff or a cane. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I completely missed that. That's why I want you guys to point all this stuff out. Pommels for those are pommels. Yeah, you're right. Pommels for both swords and big boy swords. Absolutely. I could see the little cut in them now where they would go over the tang. Absolutely. All the boots are only ankle length. Okay. So those are maybe potentially some new boots and some type of staff. That's really interesting. We got wire in the top right corner there as well. I'm curious to know if they're going to change the color or the texture of each of these materials as they progress, because these are high fidelity meshes. But the textures that are applied to them, are they all going to look the same color? Are they going to darken them for different materials? I would like to see the different shininess and things like that change as well for each of them. Oh, are those sheets of metal in the top left? They don't look like metal. Is that what you're saying, Hawk? Those are small and large sheets. Those look like tinfoil at best. They almost look like just paper. Like the paper that the rivets are sitting on, or the leather that the rivets are sitting on. That's what those look like in the top left. So hopefully, I guess you could see the arrowheads are on some little backdrop as well. If you remember back in Alpha, they also had high carbon steel and Damascus steel, so hopefully we get those back. I'm sure we will. Those are going to be past level 41, obviously. Those are going to be higher up in the tier. Kind of like with the crossbow, they shouldn't have had them have it in already, but it is what it is. Get little teasers and little leaks here and there. It's always fun. I'm really curious about what that staff is going to be. Is it simply a walking cane that is going to be purely cosmetic? Is it going to be some type of staff? Maybe holding a staff or a wand would increase your magic casting. Nick says that it looks like they could be leather. We have leather actually. We have an image for leather, so I don't think those are leather. This is blacksmithing, crafting, and components, so it has to be something that is directly tied into it. I think the character in the backdrop is a leak, because what does that character do with blacksmithing and carpentry components? But yeah, daggers. I would love to see leather boots, leather outfit, using daggers, being sneaky, some type of stealth mechanic. Not like a full blown stealth mechanic where you literally hide, but maybe a detection radius or something that could have PvP implications as well. I would love to see armor have more of an impact on your gameplay other than just, hey, I'm wearing full plate with no magic, so I have a little bit slightly higher armor, or I'm using this tier to get this amount of armor, this level of armor, so that way I can have this level of spell, because that's all it is currently locked behind, is what level of spell you'd rather have, because cloth tends to have higher tier healing, chainmail has moderate healing, and then the high end plate has lesser healing. So I would really like to see more of an implication on your character than just maybe, there's movement speed or noise that you make, or some other level and some other reason to not wear just full plate mail. Really looking forward to those daggers. Really want to see what that staff is, and those boots. Really good finds right there. Raz says sneaky, sneaky, and the cheeky, cheeky, instead of just using pacify as a means to pseudo sneak around enemies. Yeah, I do think that eventually the whole pacify, mesmerize, fireball thing is going to go away. That is not an intended feature as far as I can tell. So I know that some people have been utilizing that as a means to be able to get into dungeons, some smaller clans. Public service announcement, I do not think that's going to last forever. I do not think that's an intended feature. So once we get some combat updates coming in, watch out for that. You probably are not going to be able to do that in the future. Out of all the mesh teases, they didn't tease anything for jewelry. That was something I picked up on immediately also. They may have not had the time to do all the jewelry because there's a lot of different forms of jewelry and they're very fine, detailed, and their meshes are so minuscule as it is right now. And maybe there's not anything they could enhance upon. I mean, they're tiny, right? Like earrings, it's such a small mesh. The rings are such a small mesh. It's literally just a tiny sliver of color on your finger. Maybe they either had nothing to do there or they already thought that they were up to snuff or something like that. I'm not too sure. But you're absolutely right. There is not one. There's animal products, blacksmithing, carpentry, extracts, glass, leather, minerals, potions, and tailoring. So yeah, we don't have anything for that. So we're going to move on now from blacksmithing. If you notice anything else in here that you want to comment on, we can always go back to it, but we're going to hide that one. We're going to bring up carpentry. Carpentry is very interesting because I know this is probably a far-fetched thing, but I would like to see carpentry be able to have stacks in the real world. And I got this from a game called Vintage Story. Vintage Story, if you guys don't know about it, is a really awesome game. I'm going to be making a server for it once they release their next update for the community to have fun on. I do have some keys for that maybe we'll do a giveaway. It's a really fun game if you like Minecraft-esque games, but also like the realism that PAX Day brings. PAX Day has a high level of realism to it in terms of like the way that crafting works. And Vintage Story is hyper realistic Minecraft. It has physics, it has stacks. The way that you craft things just feels so visceral and real. I really, really, really like it. It's such a great game. And it's going to be really fun playing it with a big community. Rez says Valheim had wood stacks as well. Same with stone. Yes. And I would love to see that come over to PAX Day where we don't have to just put wood into a chest. It doesn't really make sense. I'm taking these large beams and I'm just stuffing them into a chest that is smaller than they actually are in the real world. It doesn't make sense. I would like to see resource piles. That is going to put more of a constraint on people's plots. They're going to have to do it right and balance it so you can fit a lot into a small area. Otherwise, it's going to highly benefit people having more plots. But that being said, I think it would add another layer of fidelity. You're going to have yards then with resources. And again, that's going to come down to having a permission system so we can pool these resources and things like that. We don't have a permission system yet. We have pseudo permissions. And for those of you in the Order of the Blood Brothers, we have been setting up our post office where we can better facilitate transfers of things between characters in different time zones. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Check out our Discord to stay up to date on all of that. But I would love to see stacks pretty much like what you see here, but much neater packed together and taller piles, kind of like in Vintage Story or Valheim. So that would be really, really cool to see. But here you can see we have some new beams and planks that just look absolutely amazing. They are very, very, they have a lot more depth on them. You can see there's some variety to them as well. They're not all just exactly the same. So it's going to be cool to mess around with those when it comes to building and crafting. Again, we can't see icons, but hopefully the icons look nice as well. And you can see right here, this has some leather or some twine around it. I would love to see it get to the point where you actually need to get that twine. Everything that they can interlace with each other is going to enhance the gameplay, because if you're not into making those things and you just want to focus on one thing, it's going to allow you to, it's going to facilitate emergent gameplay and interactive gameplay with other players. The whole community aspect will really shine through there. But nothing too crazy here, unless I'm missing something. Let's move on to the extracts. So extracts, these are pretty interesting. I'm not too sure if there's any leaks in here. The extracts currently have, they're all like in the same looking jar. They're icons at least. I don't think I've really placed extracts in the world too much. Maybe they all have the same generic like mesh in the world. But as far as their icons go, they did have unique icons. They were different colored jars for each of them. We didn't have different shapes. So that is definitely new. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 different bottle shapes here. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors for each of those. So there's a lot of variety here. I like the different designs of bottles. I like doing apothecary work. For those of you who don't know, if you've watched my previous streams, you know that I do alchemy. I really enjoy alchemy in most games. It's just a lot of fun. I like the whole idea of, I just really like the whole idea of putting together different tonics, mixing them up, and having them do different things in the world for different aspects of the game will require different tonics. Hawk says Icarus has some good stone and wood stacks. Okay, I've never played Icarus. Maybe I'll have to check that one out if you recommend it. But yeah, I'm going back to the wooden and stone stacks. I hope that we get that in here. Lee Bob says, would be nice if you could set a table with food and such, like you could with Valheim and Conan. It's actually funny you bring that up, because in another game, Star Citizen, we are getting alpha. What is it? What patches out are we working up towards? It's 3.24. I want to say. Let me check really quick. Yeah, 3.24 for Star Citizen. And you're having persistent hangars now. And those persistent hangars, you can actually put in all the tables and fish tanks and stuff in your persistent hangar, and they'll actually stay there. But there's an issue with the physics right now, because the physics in Star Citizen are very, I don't want to say rudimentary, but they don't have a lot of weight to them yet. So when you place stuff down, they don't actually like attach to a grid. So you can put things on your tables and they jitter around a lot. So they may be holding off on doing that in PAX Day until they can properly get everything to where it all locks together. I know like some flower pots being placed on certain things, they were causing issues. So maybe we're actually setting out potions on the table and food and things like that will come eventually once they figure out how to have the meshes work with all the other meshes. But Lee, that's a really good point. I think that'd be really cool to be able to set that up, especially just for RP. If we want to set a banquet hall, or if I want to have my apothecary, I want shelves. I really want shelves. I want to be able to put all of these potions up on the shelves. Maybe they do something like V Rising did, where they have special, I would love to see this, special dedicated storage chests or storage things for each of the different aspects of the game. So I can have a potion shelf or an apothecary shelf where it has its own custom aesthetic that you can then put your potions on, and they would actually show up in that on that shelf or in that cabinet. That'd be really, really cool. I used to use a mod for Minecraft that would add in all kinds of custom storage as well, and those storage units would actually show what you were putting on the shelves. Lee Bob says, I'm in wave 1, have been playing with it. It's not fun. Oh yeah, I have access to wave 1. I think I got invited to Evocati, but I have not really gone on there just because I've been so busy lately. Which aspect are you saying is not fun, Lee? Are you talking about the physics of placing stuff down, or the hangers, or just in general? You're saying you just didn't like it overall. Be a little more specific. We'll get some more information about it. Because yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing some. I'm definitely going to be doing some Star Citizen streams with the community. I know we have a lot of people who are interested in Star Citizen, so we're going to be reaching out into that as well at some point. I think World of Warcraft, PAX Day, and Star Citizen will probably be our trifecta of our main focus. We'll have some other little offshoots of games that we play here and there to have some fun with the community. But I'm definitely interested in your thoughts on that, Lee. Raz says, there are only 8 extracts in game as of right now. Plant extracts. And the extracts, yada, yada, yada. Let's see. Hit the nail on the head with his above comment. Oh, I missed that. I missed that comment. There are a lot more extracts here than what are on the database. Gifford, I missed your message. Sorry about that. So let's see. Are these, but the thing is, there's only 8 extracts in game. There's 8 different extract colors here, but these are different bottle shapes that share the same colors. Do we think that these are tiered extracts? Do you think you can refine your extracts into a higher purity, maybe? So maybe the smaller bottles, maybe it's a quantity as well. Maybe the smaller bottles have less volume to them. Maybe they're going to go with a volume system where your extracts can be used to make potions and it will take a certain amount of volume from the bottle. So the smaller bottles have less volume and those are your lower level ones. And then as you get better and you get better at refining, you either get a higher yield or you get a higher quality. These could be qualities because again, there's only 8 of each color. They could just be showing off assets that we could be thinking way too far into it, and they could just be showing off assets that aren't really in use yet. And this is just what they've come up with for some different designs, and they're trying to go with which design bottle do they like, and they're just going to pick one. We don't really know. But I'm really interested to see what this is going to be going forward because I take personal interest in apothecary stuff. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. I would love to see glass work. I want to see a glass blowing profession where you're actually making these bottles. And that's where it comes back to Vintage Story for me. Vintage Story is everything is done in the world. It's not, they're trying to get away from using their crafting inventory or crafting tables like Minecraft uses. And they want everything to be done in the real world. Lee Bob, I think talking about Star Citizen here says, go to a console, get your stuff, put it in a drawer with a capacity and call it up, put stuff on your character. It adds another 10 to 15 minutes before you can go out and fly. I think a lot of people are used to the everything that's instant in Star Citizen right now. Like you land, you don't even have to get out of your ship. You can just move stuff like over into storage magically. But the game is going to be much more realistic. It's going to have a high level of fidelity to it. So I think a lot of these things are going to be, and again, we're testing it, we're testers. So it's going to be interesting to see how these actually pan out over the long term. Raz says the middle row with the square vials and are plant extracts according to color. Leo's stinkhorn, mushroom, and whatnot. But the skinny pyramid and cylinder shaped ones, what could that be? They're all the same colors. These are all the same colors. Because you're saying that those are plant extracts according to color, but what could the skinny ones be? They have the same colors inside of them though, Raz. They go like yellow, greenish, reddish, orangish, this like swamp green, this lighter white color, this beige, and then the teal. All of these go in that same order. They all end up with teal. They all start with this yellow. It just looks different because of the bottle colors, but I think they're all the same color extracts. That's why I was saying I don't know if these are going to be different tiers, different volumes. We don't really know yet, but it's interesting nonetheless. I'm really looking forward to making some really cool potions. And in the potions slide that I'm going to show you, there's definitely a leak in there. 100%. It's not even really, it's just blatant. It's more like an announcement. But let's go ahead and pull that down. Let's pull up glass here. So there's not too much to see here. There's only just 3 of the different glasses. Do we know which glasses these are? Are these just the 3 qualities of glass maybe? I'm not sure that there's a leak or any other outside information here. But this looks to be almost like ground up crushed glass. And then maybe you take this and this is the raw material and you refine it. Raz says pre-ordering voids steroid sauce or splash protection. Exactly. But I do like how these look. I like that they're physicalizing things in the world in a much better way. It's going to be good in the long term. Maybe people are going to see a lot of this and be like, who cares about these textures? We just want more weapons and we want more monsters and we want more of this and more spells and more armor. We don't care about what this blah, 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 this stuff looks like or these textures, but you will in the long run. And so I think it's important to know that they do have a team who's working on things like this while they're also working on other stuff. This is not all they've been working on, right? So they have other things, and this is just what they're willing to show us because it's probably the least impactful on the patch. It's probably the least leaky that they can be while still throwing some little hints in there. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what is going to come of these different glass textures, but nothing too big there. Let's move on to leather. So here we can see some extremely detailed leather. I love how this looks. I'm wondering if this is going to have physics behind it. So you can see some holes in the leather back here. This may be pre-punched in order to make something. We don't know. But I wonder if these will have physics behind them. If these get picked up or moved, will they be able to move as a mesh or a texture in different ways? Will they be able to fold and crinkle? Or do they simply lay flat and they're stiff as a board? I'm not too sure. But I would hope that they would have some type of physics behind them. It'd be pretty hard to do, I think. But you can see your leather twine, your leather string. It looks like maybe some higher tier leather, because that one in the middle right looks like the orange hides, the tier 2 hides, and maybe the bottom left is the rough because they obviously look more rough. Maybe that's the fine leather up at the top middle or something, because that one looks silky smooth. Voltaires, welcome in. How are you doing, buddy? Great to see you. That star suits you well, Voltaires. Looks good. Is that the second? I think that's the second month tier star, looks like. He says the glass color sand could be copper glass, greenish, sulfur glass, yellowish, and silicon glass white. That would be interesting. Yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing that. I hope that they bring in a glass profession. I think that the glass blowing and the clay pottery and stuff could be its entire own profession, and that'd be really fun to see. But I think that that leather in the top right is going to be turned into something because it has holes punched. I'm not sure what that could mean. Either it's going to be a wrap for a hilt or something, or it looks like it's being refined in some way because it has holes punched in. So that could be a leak that as we refine these things, they will have different states of their progression, which would be really, really cool to see. You'd be able to store materials in their partially refined state and then use them in the future. But that is the leatherworking stuff that we have there. Next, we have minerals. So these are all of the different stones. There's probably a leak in here somewhere that I don't know about. Looks like that one in the middle right is sandstone. Looks like we got maybe iron in the bottom left. There's some gems maybe along the top, like amethyst, ruby, quartz near the middle. Looks like maybe sulfur in the very middle. Right above that, like carbon or something. I don't know. There's all different kinds. In the bottom right, maybe a steel. Do you guys see any leaks in here? Quartz in the middle bottom left, or bottom right, I mean. The second one there. I want to know what that red one is in the top right. That thing looks crazy. But yeah, all kinds of minerals here. Looks like cobalt or something in the bottom left, that blue. Iron is below sulfur, Darth says. Yeah, there's all kind. I don't know what all the minables are in game. We have some people who have spent a large amount of time working on all of these different minerals and harvesting them. Are there any mineable resources in game currently that don't have a use, or do they all currently have a use? And how many are there? Because here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 24 resources on screen. And I'm almost positive there's a leak in here somewhere. I'm not sure where it would be. Aquarius or something in the bottom right corner there. Green with orange flecks is copper. Let's see, where's that one? Green with orange flecks. Oh, I see it. Yeah, it looks like oxidized copper, almost in the bottom middle. Yeah, I could see that being oxidized copper in its raw form before it's refined. Because I think when you refine it, you turn it into molten copper, all of those impurities of the oxidization is going to rise to the surface, and then you scoop it off to refine it down, make it more pure. I would love to see stuff. That's why I like vintage stories so much. I would love to see stuff like that in game, where you actually scoop stuff off and refine it and hammer it out. Like one of my favorite things in Vintage Story is the blacksmithing, because you take it's such a like detailed process, but you take the material and you actually need to melt it down in a crucible, which you have to make. You have to fire it in the kiln, get your crucible, and then you get the material melted up in the crucible. Then you can reheat it to pour it into a mold that you've also made out of clay. Then you have to wait for it to cure in that mold. And then if you want to work with that ingot of copper, you'd reheat that ingot to a certain degree, and then you would take that ingot and you would actually hammer out the voxels with a hammer, and you actually choose which direction the voxels are going in as you hammer it out. Very, very detailed and awesome process. I'd love to see something like that come into this game. Maven says, good morning, Void. How are you doing, Maven? I hope you're having a good day so far. I'm back in town. Hopefully nothing burned down while I was gone. Well, Terry says the two-tone layered with orange could be sandstone. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that was sandstone on the right-hand side there. That definitely could be sandstone. Maven, we are checking over all the new information and leaks that we have from Mainframe, and we're breaking them down. Everything is good. Well, everything in game. That's good. Hopefully everything out of game also. Yep, I am back from the memorial I was attending. My stepmom passed away. But I'm back in town now, and we're going to get our regularly scheduled streams going up every day that we can. But unless we have any other leaks that you guys can find here on these minerals, these are all the new textures we're coming in. Again, these are in-game meshes. These are not icons. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these icons are going to look like as well. Well, stock markets, but that's why we play a game. Oh, the stock market's doing bad? Yeah, I don't really do anything with the stock markets. Crypto, maybe, a little bit, but not the stock market. Stock markets are doing pretty bad, Maven. All right, let's move on to the potions. Again, we can come back to any of these if you guys find anything on them. Now, potions, I am super excited about this one. Like I said before, I love potions. I heard something about titanium and high carbon steel. Yeah, there was stuff like that in the alpha that was then removed. So Raz was talking about hopefully we get that in the future, so that way we can have some higher tier materials. And I'm sure that those will come. They were probably just removed because they're not used yet, just like the crossbow skill. So we know that we're going to be getting higher tier stuff, right? That's no surprise. We know that this is not, the end game now is not the current end game. Health, protection, and stamina potions. That's not even really a leak. It's just telling you, blatant, right out in the open. It's more of an announcement. Protection potions. We're going to be getting protection potions. We don't know what types of protection. I'm assuming for different elements. You're going to be having fire protection, frost protection, poison protection, and those could be the potions that are off on the left. If you see the potions off by themselves, you have those red, green, blue, and that whitish one, that light orange, whitish one. That could be fire protection, poison protection, frost protection. Who knows how long these will last for? We don't know how they're going to be balanced. The health potions are there in the front. They look like they get darker to the right, but I think that's just the way the glass bottles are looking, maybe. But they all kind of do that. So it could be they turn more reddish to this pink as they get to either higher volume, because it looks like they're getting bigger as well. Higher volume or higher quality. But I like how they have a little tag on them. They look super nice. I cannot wait to place those all around in my apothecary. But yeah, protection potions. Let me know what you guys think about that. Maven says, yeah, I didn't do a ton of mining since Alpha 2 was only a week long, so I didn't get to play with them. Yeah, in the Alpha, I didn't really get to do as much of the stuff as I would like to have gotten to as well. But we did get to a lot of flax for those of you who have seen my double flax stream. The colors look really delightful. I was wondering if they're going to employ some currently useless ingredients. Someone said you could find alfalfa in the ghost zone too. There's a bunch of useless ingredients as far as I can tell in game. And and I would love to see those come to fruition being used as well. German 3D printing nerd, hey there, Crash is here. How's it going, Crash? Hope you're doing well. Hope you didn't miss me too much. I'm back in town now. So the red potions are clearly health potions. What do we think the orange ones are right above them? I think the green ones might be stamina. That's my presumption. I think the green is probably stamina. I don't know what those orange ones are. Are those generic resistance or something? And what are the white ones in the bottom left? If the left ones are resistance potions, green would obviously be poison, red would be fire, blue would be frost. What do we think those white ones could be? Holy resistance? Are they gonna, is that a hint that we're gonna start getting some holy spells that can damage people or things? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think the green is going to be stamina. Oh, white could be mental. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, that's probably what that is, actually. I forgot about the mental because they disabled it for PvP, and it has really no use in PvE. Um, so yeah, I completely forgot about that since they disabled it. They currently have that disabled in PvP. Presumably, they're trying to balance it because it's all kinds messed up currently. But yeah, you think you're right there. That could be mental resistance potions. Maybe when they bring those in, they'll bring, because we have mental resistance food currently. Maybe the scaling on it's not proper. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think that potion, if that comes in, we also have the mental resistance food. Maybe they'll reactivate mental in PvP combat. I really would like to see a way. I'd really like to see a way where we can test PvP without there being consequences. Because some smaller clans, they're not engaging in PvP because they don't want to lose all their stuff because that could be detrimental to their progress. Like, so it's kind of, they're not able to get the data they need on PvP, and they've even said they need data on PvP. But I think if they did like PvP weekends or something, or maybe on the weekend you don't lose your gear and you just lose your resources, I would not be opposed to like Bloodbound gear, like from V Rising, where I love V Rising. I refer to it all the time. It's one of my favorite games. But where you get to keep your gear bound to you, but you can lose all of your resources. I think that'd be really nice. It would allow people to engage in PvP more, and they could get some more data to get it balanced. Maven says, I also liked seeing the enchanted jewelry that Raz showed us. The enchanted jewelry? What enchanted jewelry? Am I blanking on something? What do we think those orange potions are above the health potions, but below the green, presumably stamina potions? Raz goes, oh boy. Oh boy, what? Spill the beans. Did some deep digging. Okay, let's bring it to the people. What did you find? I'm going to have to rename this to Raz's secret leaking content. But yeah, so those are the potions that we got there. I'm really excited for these protection potions. We're going to pull up the last slide that we have here while we wait for Raz's super secret information. It's an Oathsworn. Let me see. So for those of you who don't know, Oathsworn is our internal clan chat room over on our Discord. For people who've already been vetted and are fully in, we have access to the Oathsworn room. That's where we talk about all the happenings in and around our clan. Yeah, apparently in alpha, I wondered if they start activating all that stuff alongside these releases. Oh, from alpha. Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of the stuff we saw in alpha is going to be incorporated in. I don't think it was there by mistake. I think they needed to test how it would act in game, and they just had them all in there, whether you could actually find them or not. And I think that's why there's some materials that aren't used currently. I think those are in the world to make sure that their spawn nodes and their interactions with other things are working properly. So I do think that those will be introduced at some point. I mean, that would have been a waste of time if they just had them there and they spent time making them if they weren't going to be used. I think with this being an MMO, we're going to see untold amounts of new resources and new stuff being added all the time, and it's going to be really fun to keep up with all of it. I found a lot of alpha screenshots and stuff. Nothing can hide from Raz. Yeah, Raz definitely loves digging into stuff. Alteri says Raz's Razmataz. Let me check really quick and see what is in there. Magic infused jewelry. Hypnotic band. This jewelry ring mesmerizes foes with its dazzling display of illusions, rendering them unable to act, and it has Mez on it and 10 armor on a ring. Yeah, I mean, we knew that there was going to be magic jewelry, so this is not a huge surprise. Let me act quick here. Let me save this image. Give me 1 second. I'm going to save this image and I'm going to bring it up. We're going to talk about tailoring here in 1 second, but let me pull this up. This is exciting. We're going to add an image overlay. Bear with me, I'm doing this on the fly. Let's grab this image. It's a little bit large. Let me shrink it. All right. So here's what we're talking about right here. This is from the alpha, and Raz has done some digging, and we can see here that we've always known that this stuff was going to be in the game. The jewelry was never just going to be cosmetic. I never thought it was going to be just cosmetic. You can see this is very early because if you look at the little pips and the way that they are associated, that's much different now. But if we look here in the top right, hypnotic band, you can see it gives some armor and it has Mez associated with it. And then it looks to be a tier 1 ring. You can see next to it, there's some golden ring with some engravings on it, and that has 5 pips. It looks to be some different cloaks and stuff in this person's inventory as well. Look at that potion down there. But you got to take this stuff with a grain of salt because you can see a lot of these icons are very old. This could be that some of these icons are for things that we already know, like number 5 is probably the building hammer. I don't think that's like some big weapon hammer or anything. You can look at, there's some more potions there in the bottom middle of their inventory that look to have some unique designs. Those probably are going to be carried over to the more rustic looking potions that we've seen. I love the swords on their sides. They're holding 2 swords there, as you can tell. That I think is not necessarily for dual wielding. I would love to see dual wielding, but I don't think that is for dual wielding because one of them looks to be longer than the other. Knights would typically have multiple weapons like that, like daggers and stuff, or backup weapons, or whatever it may be. There's some pouch on his side there hanging, some belts going around holding on those weapons as well. Tier 5, it looks like. Yeah, I think the highest we've seen currently is like tier 4 stuff, right? Or have we seen tier 5? I've only seen 4 pip stuff, really, I believe. The golden ring. Voltaire says the gold ring is the one to rule them all. And I don't think there's going to be invisibility, Voltaire's. I really don't think there will be invisibility. I don't know how they would do that. World of Warcraft has stealth. I don't know how they would handle invisibility in this game. It'd be very, very hard. They'd have to balance it properly. The square blocks, at least, yeah, representing the tiers. I want dual wield shields like turtles. I think that dual wielding is going to come to the game, and I'm really looking forward to dual wielding. I normally dual wield in all the games that I can dual wield in. It's a lot of fun. The current is 4, Maven says, for the tier. Only tier 4, I think. Yeah. So tier 5 stuff, like those rings, it's going to be interesting to see. And if you think about it, if a tier 1 magic hypnotic band has all of that associated with it, what could that tier 5 be? Could be very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be. But some more leaks there for you guys. I'm probably going to have to rename this to Plus Leaks or something because this is juicy content for people. Make sure you share this with anybody that you think might want to get some of this information. Give me 1 second here. Let's take this one down and let's bring back up the tailoring here. So tailoring doesn't look like anything too crazy. What is in that little basket? Like what is that? Those look like eggs or something? Like broken am I being stupid? What are those? We have needles in the bottom left, which are laying on a little piece of cloth. I like those. We have some strings and twines, presumably going up in tier. And we have some cloth in the back. Rough, Going up to the nice spools, looking clean. Those are cotton balls, you think? They look like, some of them look like they're half broken shells. Could be, oh, it could be silk. They look, could be like little silk. Yeah, you know what? Those could be little silken spun things from like spiders or something. I don't know. Also, other meshes I've managed to dig up. Oh, Raz, you found some other meshes. I'll have to check those over on the Discord. Let me pull those up as well. Again, I do a lot of this stuff on the fly here, guys. So if I'm pulling stuff up on the fly, just bear with me. I'm trying to bring you guys as much info as I can. Wheatcraft says looks like silk. Yeah, I think it could be silk. So let's see what else Raz has over for us on the Discord here. Are these new? These look the same. I think we've seen these ciders and beers and stuff, Raz. Oh, the dough and the flour and the malt and stuff. That, so the devs giving us content. It means meshes. So where are these actually from if these are new? Oh yeah, look at those relics and worms and stuff. Those do look new. All right, bear with me. I'm going to grab these. I'm going to bring these up on screen. Some more stuff that Raz has found for us. So thank you, Raz. So nothing too crazy here with the tailoring stuff. That silk may be a leak. I'm not sure if that's even what that is. Again, those look a little strange. These are meshes from Alpha, directly from official PAX Discord. Oh, okay. So these next things I'm going to be showing you guys, these are, as Raz just said, these are from Alpha and they're directly from the official PAX Discord. Valtteri says, imagine if we could learn knitting in game. That'd be pretty cool, honestly. I'd be all for that. All right, let me add these new images here. I'm going to pull these up one at a time. So these are relics. These are from Alpha. It kind of gets a little too blown out when I make it too big, so I'm going to make it this size here. I'm assuming these are sigils. These are runes. Or these are sigils. These are the amulets. Here we have some of the different types of worms. And then what are those stones in the back? Oh, those could be the crystals that the ghosts drop, maybe. The amount of pages I went through. Oh, I'm sure. Gifford says maybe they could be silkworm cocoons. Yeah, I think they might be cocoons. I think you might be right on the money there. Ghost crystals. Yep, those could be ghost crystals in the back. But yeah, I think these look pretty good, honestly, and these are from Alpha, so I think they're just fleshing out and adding more to these textures by showing us the ones that we're currently seeing. So that is the magic relics and stuff, all those different relics. Let's see, let's pull up consumables and drinks. So we have wine, tea, cider, beer, ale, juice, liquor, mead, syrups. So the syrups, they look the same. And again, this is from the Alpha. So a lot of these look mostly the same. The wine, we have wine currently. Are these the textures? The ciders look the same, I believe. These juice containers look familiar. The beers definitely are the same. I've seen those. The teas are definitely the same. I've seen those. I think the liquor pouches, I've seen those dropped before. So a lot of these look to have been implemented. Now here's the thing. Almost all the items dropped on the ground are in a leather pouch, but some have their own respective meshes. If these get implemented, the sky's the limit. Yeah, I think the beer, well, a lot of these have their own in-world asset, I think. Like, I think the beer does, the cider does, The liquor, I know I've seen that pouch before dropped on the ground. The tea, I'm not sure what that looks like dropped. But yeah, these look pretty nice. And these are from Alpha, so. And let's pull up the final one here. We're going to tie things up because we're pushing an hour and a half on this episode. We have food products. Here we have flour, dough, yeast, hops, malt, and young wine. So just a little more sneak peek for you guys as to what was put out a while ago. And you can tell the textures on these, they don't look as detailed as the new ones. So these might have been placeholders from back in the day, or this is what they made back in the day. And now we're up to the more higher fidelity textures. Everyone drops the booze, but no one drops their tea. Unless you're American, then we drop it in the harbor. But there you go, guys. That is a lot of information about a lot of the upcoming stuff for PAX Day. Some really exciting things coming out. Looking forward to getting that market. Looking forward to playing around with all of the new meshes and all of the new systems that we're going to hopefully be getting. I really hope that a permission system, even if it's not the full-fledged one, even if it's still rudimentary, I really hope that we get a permission system very soon, because we are in desperate need of a permission system. I know a lot of people want content for the game. A lot of people have been holding off on hopping back in because they're waiting for the next big content patch. I think that's just how gaming goes. We're going to get these spikes, these peaks and valleys, but we're here for the long haul. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any episodes of PaxCast or my live streams. I live stream just about every single day. I don't really have a set schedule. I normally do it like around noon or afternoon. So make sure you guys check those out. We've been doing a lot of World of Warcraft, getting ready for the War Within. We're going to be doing a lot of PAX Day, doing some more RP and getting back to our roots in PAX Day. Once we get the content patch, we're going to be going really hard on all that content, bringing you guys all the information as soon as possible. Watch out for PaxCast. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing what is coming out in the future. We have a subscriber goal of 1,000, which we are growing closer and closer towards. We're pushing towards 650. Once we reach 1,000, we're going to be doing a 24-hour subathon where several hours will be put on the clock, and Tangia interactions and gifted memberships and things like that will be able to add more time onto the clock. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if I can make it 24 hours. I don't know if you guys can make it 24 hours, but we're definitely going to do our best. I'm really looking forward to all the upcoming stuff. We have Project Zomboid coming out with an update soon, hopefully. That we're going to be making a server for that, having some fun on there. Join our community, get involved. We have a bunch of really cool people playing all kinds of fun stuff. And it's going to be a lot of fun as we get some new content for PAX Day. If you guys would like to join the Order of the Blood Brothers because you see how much fun we have in-game and you want to be a part of a big clan, make sure you guys type !website into chat. It'll pull up a link where you can go over to our website and submit an application. We do have an application process. It's pretty simple and straightforward. You just go to the template, copy it, paste it in your own thread, and answer the questions. If your application is marked incomplete, make sure you read the comment and see what was missing and add it. You can reply to yours with what was missing. If it says pending, make sure you reach out to an admin so we can get you vetted and get you all the way into the clan. But you do not need to do an application simply to join our community. You can simply type !Discord and you can head over to our Discord and there you go, boom, you're a part of the Cheeky Buggers United. And we host all kinds of servers for different things over in our community. That being said, that is going to wrap up this episode of PaxCast. We got to look at some pretty cool meshes that are coming out and theory craft about some of the new content that we're going to be getting hopefully very soon. Because I don't know why they would put out an announcement in these meshes saying in the next big update if that was not getting closer, right? They know they're getting close. I'm pretty sure that they're getting close on this. So stay tuned for some future content. And I'm really looking forward to 4.0 for Star Citizen as well as this upcoming 3.24. So if that interests you guys as well, again, our community is not just about PAX Day. It's about all kinds of games and having fun with a ton of really cool people. So make sure you check that out. But that's going to do it for me. I got to go over to my sister's and help fix the brakes on the Jeep. But I am back in town, so look forward to having some more streams coming up soon. Skippy, thank you for the $1.99 super thanks or super chat. I really appreciate that. Big shout out to all of my channel members, everyone who has supported the channel over these years, really, because my channel's been out for a couple of years, but we've really grown recently. So huge shout out to all the channel members who are supporting the channel. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Skippy, for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Or it was a super sticker. That's what it was. It was a big thanks heart. Skippy, I think you might like this game. You might want to check it out with us. We got a pretty big clan on there. But yeah, huge shout out to all of my channel members. You guys are the best. We are pushing past 130 channel members currently. You guys have been really, really great. The support for the channel has just been outstanding. I could not be happier with the community and the people that we've drawn in. Everyone is very mature. Most people are over 30. We have some people over 40. Very mature, very awesome group of people. It's kind of refreshing. You don't get a lot of the issues that you do with a younger clientele. And that's not to say that we don't take in everybody. You guys are more than welcome to join, but it is good to know that we have a very mature community. So thank you very much for that, Skippy. Thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you to all the new subscribers and all the new people who have joined our community. Welcome in to the Cheeky Buggers United community Discord, and all the people who have recently joined the Order of the Blood Brothers. Welcome in as well. We're going to be doing some more RP stuff coming up. We're going to have some more ceremonies. If you guys have any cool screenshots or clips throughout my streams that you would like to share, we have a special dedicated section on the Discord for that, and we're going to be making shorts from that as well. Maven says, yeah, you have a nice day, or have a great day. You too, Maven. Volteri says, them's the breaks. Don't start if you can't stop. Skippy says, you're welcome. Sorry, my YouTube app broke after the super. Oh, okay, no problem. Just got back. GG's. Popcorn. No, I really appreciate it, Skippy. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you to everybody. You guys are the best. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.